Good evening, Classy. Thank you so much. Economics Grade 10 learners. I can see you are connecting, and I promise you that you won't regret your data, you won't regret your time. It is that time of the year that we need to prepare for examinations. So today we want to quickly look at uh, Term 3 exams. We want to look at Term 3 preparations. So I'm going to present to you Section A. That is the one that we're going to quickly look at. And for your own information, note that Section A, it is a must according to my principles, according to my teachings, according to my standards, that learners, you must always get all the marks. So let us quickly just look at it and answer the questions. So basically, before you answer the questions, there are some key instructions that I want you to note every time when you're going to write exams. Know that there is a numbering system that the question paper is used. That the question paper has been designed of. So please, you need to know that the numbering system must correspond to the questions or to the question and numbering. You don't use your own numbering on your answers. Note that the answers must be numbered correctly, class. They must be numbered correctly according to the system. And then start each question on a new paper. We are saying on a new page. When we are talking about a question, we are looking at question number 1 in its full set up to where it is ending. If it is ending on 1.1.6, if it ends there, and then we are saying the next question is question 2. Question 2, you start on a new page. You start on a new page, and then you go, you answer to the end. Question 3 is again you answer on a new page. That is what we are talking about when we are talking about that new page, new paper. Black and blue ink only is used. We need not to be forgetting about that. It must be known that we always use blue or black ink. So without wasting any time, the first question reads, first group of people who lived in Southern Africa, in Southern and Western parts of Africa are called what? The first group of people who lived in the Southern, this is Southern, who lived in the Southern, who lived in the Southern and Western parts of Africa. They are called what? We have got the Europeans, not, we never have, we say Europeans, not Europeans. It is not, we cannot talk about Arabs. Arabs did not come to Western and Southern Africa, African tribes. We cannot talk about that. The Khoisan people, I'm quite aware that we remember when we were doing uh, when we look at the standards of life, the living styles, we say that the Khoisan are the most known people. This is the group of people who are known to have lived in the southern and western parts of Africa, where we look at, we see rock paintings, we see drawings, we see quite a lot of traditional and cultural lives that were lived by the Khoisan people, understanding very well that they were also hunters and gatherers. So what we need to know is that it is the Khoisan people who lived in the southern and western parts of Africa. Situations when people move from place to place for water, for water, it can be for water, it can be for food or a pasture, is known as what? When people move from place to place, this has to do with the families. There are families in groups. As a tribe of people, they move from certain place to another place. We don't talk about migration. We don't talk about trade. Is commerce, urbanization. We are looking at the establishment of buildings and so forth. So we are saying these are not so nomads. We talk about nomadic. Nomads are the types of, or it is a lifestyle where people move from one place to another in search of the right resources, both water, food, and pastures. The early groups of people who lived in Southern Africa, they were nomadic. They were nomadic, meaning to say moving from place to place in search of every resource and supporting functions for their lives. So we talk about that movement of people known as what? As nomad, which is C. The evolution over time of the population profile of a country or a region defined geographically, or a region defined geographical area. What we call that? The evolution of time over time of the population. We're talking about people, profile of a country or a region defined over a geographical area. What we call that? We are saying population profile. We are looking at population characteristics. This has to do with the characteristics of people within. We look at characteristics. So what is that? The characteristics of people. When we look at the population representation, the profile, we call that demographic. It is called demographic cycle. It is called demographic cycle. We don't talk about labor absorption. It has to do with employment. We don't talk about employment. It is to do with hiring for jobs and so forth. So it is demographic cycle, which is the correct answer. Situation when people are between jobs or seeking for a job for the first time. People are between, meaning to say, we are saying people are between jobs or seeking for a job for the first time. What do we call that? They have not been employed. So we are saying full employment, it means they are hired labor force. We are talking about the people who are active to work within various industries of the country. So when people are between jobs or seeking for a job for the first time, we call that what? Unemployed. We call that unemployment. And bringing parties together and getting them to agree on a certain course of action. When people have got disagreements and they are brought together to discuss or to come to a consensus of their differences, what we call that? It is not a convention. Agreement cannot be, and we cannot talk about consultation. When people are brought together for a discussion and coming to a conclusion for a certain course of action, we call that conciliation. It is called what? Conciliation. We are conciliation derived from what? From reconciliation. So people are brought together in order for them to reconcile, in order for them to set aside differences and find the best way forward within whatever the disagreements might be. We have got question 1.2. Choose a description from column B that matches the item in column A. Write only the letters A to I next to the question number. This is also one other typical serious instruction that students must take note of. We are writing the question number and then we write only the answer next to the question number. So now what is happening here is that we need to find the terms that we are given terms here, and then we need to find the description or meanings that match them. So arbitration. What is arbitration? Arbitration. What is arbitration? Uh, when we say a person is arbitrating, it means is actually standing in between on behalf of two parties in order for them to have that reconciliation. So arbitration, it is uh, the hearing and determination of a dispute by an impartial referee. We are saying a referee, we are talking about a person who is there standing between the two parties with no sides. So he's impartial. Impartial meaning to say considering the facts and evidence of both parties, of both individuals involved. So arbitration, it is G. It is G, which means hearing and determination of a dispute by an impartial party, a party which is neutral, that is impartial. And then mechanism. What is mechanism? When we look at mechanism, what is it that we call mechanism? It is a word derived from machinery. So mechanism, it can mean when human labor is replaced with machinery, replacement of human labor with machinery, which can be the replacement of human labor with machinery, mechanization. In other ways, that is what we are talking about. That is what we are talking about. Mechanization, it is when machinery is used in place of manual labor, which is humans. Overpopulation, 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 actually it means an excessive increase in number of people versus the resources available, which can be caused by various factors. So overpopulation, number three, what is overpopulation? An increase in population due to an increase of immigration. Immigration, people coming into an area. We are saying an increase in number of people due to an increase in immigration, people coming within or coming into an area. Therefore, it is what? It is overpopulation. It is overpopulation. And then uh, migration, we talk about movement of people or organisms from one place to another. That's what we mean by migration, which is 1.2.4. Migration, it is the movement of people from one place to another, which can be places or countries. So migration can be defined by what? By A. Migration, it is a movement of people from one country or a place to another. Whatever reasons that can be causing that, we can say people are moving in search of greener pastures. People are moving, running away from life-threatening events and problems. And then what is globalization? Globalization, globalization, we talk about the interconnectedness of the world, having a single market, people being able to buy and sell across the globe. So, what is globalization? Number five. Number five, globalization, therefore, it can mean what? The worldwide integration of markets and production. Worldwide integration, bringing together, the worldwide bringing together of markets and production, which is C. C can be the right answer, which can mean or which can explain globalization, the worldwide all over. We are talking about the world as a whole, integration of markets and production, and then uh, that is C, and then specialization. Specialization is to do with people, businesses focusing on what they can do best within a limited range of goods and services. So I'm saying what is happening is it has to mean therefore that specialization, it is businesses focuses on producing a limited range of goods and services that they can do best. We call that what? Specialization. Advantages of that, we can come to those as we continue. But specialization, basically, it works on focusing and concentrating on producing limited range of goods and services in order to maximize or to concentrate resources. So that is what we are saying. So please take note. These are the answers. Arbitration, uh, overpopulation, migration, as well as uh, specialization. So we can have a lot of any other terms that might be given there. So let's look into question 1.3. Question 1.3. Give one term. We are saying one term. The question here is that give one term for each of the following descriptions. Write only the term next to the question number. Abbreviations, acronyms. We are talking about abbreviations, acronyms, and examples will not be accepted. So therefore, what you need to do is just to give the correct answer. Movement of people from rural areas to towns or cities. What do we call that? The movement of people from rural areas to cities from rural areas to cities or to towns. We can talk about that as what is urbanization. We can talk about that also. We can maybe say, uh, uh, we are saying urbanization, one word can be the correct answer. It can be urbanization. We can talk about it also as migration. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another. So therefore, they are moving from cities to what? From rural areas to urban areas. We call that migration as well. It can be also be called urbanization. A process of exchanging goods and services for each other in absence of money. When trade is done without involving money, we call that barter trade. It is called what? Barter trade. It is called barter trade when businesses, individuals are engaged in transacting, in service, in selling, in buying and selling, but without the involvement of money. It is barter, goods to goods or services to services or goods to services. That can be done where people have neither or they don't have money or otherwise they are not having. Yes, they don't have the money. So either one part or whatsoever. But now we are talking about that as what? As barter trade. Consists of those employed and those not employed. What is it that consists of those employed and not employed? It consists of those employed and not employed. What is it? So we talk about active population, which we can say that it is economically active, economically active population, economically active population. We can also uh, understand that they are economically active because they are supposed to be working and they are also uh, active. So we can also maybe say that we can also say youth or youth can also do young people who are also employed and unemployed, economically active population, and an organization that protects and fights for the rights of employees. What is that organization that protects and fights for the rights of employees? It is called what? A union organization, which we can say it's a labor or trade union. It's a labor or a trade union. It's an organization that protects and fights for the rights of employees. It is a labor or a trade union. It is one organization that protects and fights for the rights of employees, representation, employee representation. So that is it, class. Thank you very much for your time. We said we want to do section A only. So these are the basic economic, terms that you need to know. And according to the questions that we are answering today on this segment, is only these ones. Thank you very much and all the best. Just look forward to section B. Section B is coming separately again with 80 marks, and then we're going to also answer section C, which would also come along with its essay questions. So please just look forward to part B and part C that is going to be posted anytime soon, or just keep connected. Thank you very much.